The current dating situation is totally fucked. It's too hard to meet people. The apps don't seem to work. Women seem to have exceptionally high standards that men can't possibly meet. But the reality is, the current dating crisis is really an advantage. It provides an opportunity to men who want to take control of their lives. Why? Because most men are lost. There's a very troubling study that was done by Pew Research just a couple of years ago. 63% of men under the age of 30 are self-described as single. Now, 34% of women also self-describe as single. So I think a lot of that comes down to how men and women define being single. Men are more likely to self-define, even if there's a woman in their life, whereas the opposite is true for women. Another worrying study. 24% of men aged 18 to 24 have had no sex in the last year. 24. That's a quarter. A quarter of men are not having sex, arguably. And 35%, meaning 10% more than that, have had no sex in the last 3 months. That means a third of men are either not having sex or not having regular sex. They're not engaged in productive sexual relationships. And I personally believe this is because a lot of men have fallen for distractions. It's just too easy to take it easy. It's easy to not care, and it's easy to not have to think about your life. It takes work. It takes effort. It takes diligence to think about who you are and think about the best place for you in the world. I've been on that journey for my entire adult life, and arguably I still haven't figured it out, but it's definitely taken me on some adventures. So in today's video, I don't want to talk about the doom and gloom of the dating crisis. I don't want to talk about negativity. I want to talk about the positive. I want to talk about the advantage that you guys have to set yourself apart from every single man on the face of this planet, including me. You have an opportunity that is unlike any other in the history of modern dating, because a third of men are taking it easy. You have an unprecedented advantage to have the kinds of sex and relationships that you really want with women simply because they're missing. It's important to keep in mind that men and women collectively are not going to settle. Nevertheless, you have an opportunity to surpass the vast majority of men because the vast majority of men are simply not taking action. The realm of dating really works like this. Men go up and talk to women. Men approach, okay? Men take the initiative. They take the risk. Although, honestly, how risky is it? Okay? So men take the initiative and women decide. That means women get to pick from the men who approach them. So really, all you need to do to set yourself above 35% of men is to show up. Your job is to put your face in front of hers, get her attention, and talk to her. That's it. Beyond that, it's up to men to provide the structure, to provide the certainty, to provide the ballast, to provide the stability that a woman needs in her life. The metaphor I like to use is men build the house and women fill the house with a woman's touch. So I don't know how many of you guys have ever lived with a woman before, but I have. And women do this crazy thing called decorating. They don't just decorate for season. They decorate for holidays. They'll decorate for Christmas, but they'll also decorate for like Easter and Valentine's Day. I think, and most guys that I've met don't do that. But that's the essence of a woman's touch. And that's why we love them so much. But it's very important that if a man's going to build his house, he's going to provide the structure and the stability, that he needs to design his story first. He needs to know who he is and what he wants. How does he do that? He does that by exploring his values. He explores the things about himself that genuinely matter, the things that resonate with him. He needs to clarify his story. Now you might be asking, Ethan, why does this matter? How does this solve the dating crisis? Especially if you're part of it, if you're someone who has trouble meeting women. Figuring out your story, figuring out who you are and where you belong in the world and what it is that you're here to do gives you certainty. It is the source of your confidence. The reality is, Women want men. Women want relationships. Men want the same. But you need to be the one that gives women the opportunity. You are the opportunity creator. The way you present yourself and the part of your story that you are sharing with her is your narrative. It's the part of you that you are expressing to her, and it's the image that it creates the image that she gets of who you are as a person. And the reality is most men simply don't show up. And the ones that do have never thought about their story or their narrative. They've never thought about how they show up and the feelings that they evoke and the things that they believe and the things they want the woman to feel when she is with him. If you take these things that I'm saying and you learn how to apply them, you will skyrocket above 90% of men out there. I have seen men that are uber successful in other areas of their lives, and because they don't understand the basic fundamentals, they simply do not achieve the same level of success in their dating lives. I've similarly seen men that have not achieved very much in their lives outside of the realm of dating, but they absolutely crush it with women because they understand these principles. Most men either simply don't know or don't care to learn and figure out how they present themselves to women. So you need to start being clear about what you want, who you are, and how a woman fits into your life story. Because it's a story that you're writing. You write it every day. Your story is your life. If someone were to write an autobiography about you that included every detail about your life, that is what you're living right now. And you're living it through the perspectives that you have, the decisions that you make, the feelings that you evoke in other people. And more than that, it is more acceptable now than ever before to have alternative relationship types. How do I know this? Because I have seen it firsthand. I've seen lots of people engaging in relationships that are outside of societal norms. And the reality is, societal norms, as they exist today, have only existed for maybe 1,000 years tops. Before that, non-monogamous relationships, polygamy, short-term committed relationships were much more common. And I don't need to necessarily delve into that today because that would be a very interesting topic because I have a lot of thoughts on that. But the reality is there's a huge opportunity today to live a life that's better and more fulfilling to you than ever before. And it's acceptable. Although I would attest that most men are best suited for monogamy. They're best suited for finding one woman, applying all of his energy, and perhaps raising a family. Although I have seen people engaging in varying levels of non-monogamy and polygamous relationships. So what I would encourage you to do is think about the kind of relationship that you want. Think about what would feel the coolest to you. What would make you the happiest if you could do anything in the world? If you could have any relationship you want, what would it be? Would it be monogamy? Or would it be something else? Would it be polygamy? Would it be a hybrid? Think about it. This is part of how you design your life. Think about the thing that resonates with you the most. The simple reality is that most men calling it a crisis are simply men that are not taking action. You don't have to be one of them. You can take action. You can take action right now simply by thinking about the things that you want, thinking about how you're going to implement it, thinking about how you show up to women when you meet them out in the world. It's up to you to create the world around you with intention, with design, with purpose. That is what's core to that. That is the core that makes a man a man. And it's your job to create that life so that women can come in and fill it. You can get whatever you want in life, but you have to believe that it's true. You need to start telling yourself the story of how you succeeded before you've actually achieved it. How do I know this? Because that's how I've achieved the level of success I've had in my life. All during high school, all during college, I was interested in girls, but I was too scared to talk to them. Once I flipped the script in my head of my relationship with women, my results changed. I started to get more and more attention from women because they saw me better because I viewed myself as a better person. I can't stress that enough. The crisis only exists in your mind. If you believe there's a crisis, you will manufacture the conditions in your life that make it a crisis. But if you want to make this the greatest opportunity of your life, you can do that. And you do that by exploring your values. Figure out the things that matter to you. And then figure out a story. Figure out a narrative for your life that incorporates all these things, all the things that matter to you. And then you go out into the world and you tell people about it. You meet people. You connect with people through your narrative, through the things that you tell them, through the image that you project. And these are all the things that I teach. So if you want my help to transform your dating life, make it like nothing you've ever dreamed of before, something you never thought possible until today. I'll put details in the description. If you like and subscribe, you'll get access to future updates, and I've got a lot more content on the way. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.